Cheers, everyone. I am drinking a drink that sums up my personality tonight, white wine. I hope you're all doing okay, but I mean, it's insane. And hardly anything has happened this week. So, I mean, what's there to talk about apart from the absolute state of the comedy industry at the moment? That's one thing to talk about. Coronavirus. What's going on with the UK government? What the hell's going on in Florida? Marcus Rashford. We're going to be talking about all of these things during the show. Actually, let's start the show with some positivity because there's so much awful shit going on at the moment. So shout out to Marcus Rashford, who's done an amazing thing. And I am going to chat to Athena a bit more about this later on. But good God, did we ever need like a positive story in the news? And here it is. Like, this is the first time I think I can ever remember in history a prime minister calling a footballer to explain himself. Boris got visited by the ghost of Christmas football, and it was beautiful because I think at this point, even the Tories were like, this narrative is way too Victorian. Like, this is literally a nation of tiny Tims we're preventing from having one meal a day. So we're going to talk about Marcus Rashford later on. Hattie Mancock's had a terrible week, hasn't he, with the tracing app. Every time Matty Hancock speaks, it's like Gareth Keenan's health and safety training. That's the kind of authority that he has. He has the authority of like a supply teacher who gets his car keyed every day in the playground. A lot to get through. So I'm going to bring my first guest on. Hello. Oh my goodness. Hello, Potato. Oh, yes. Sorry, everyone. I should properly introduce my future husband. Potato Epstein. Hello. Hi, Jena. Look, we've got a flood of people joining now that there's a bit of a tiny awesome dog happening. We all need a bit of tiny awesome dog in our lives.
Potato's the best. All right, Potato. He's just like with me all the time right now.
Yeah.
Hi, buddy.
He's your ride or die bitch. I'm okay. I'm all right. I mean, it's still light outside. So the days have got longer, which means I feel like we're like having baggy days that are going into saggy weeks. And it just, you know, I'm ready for it to end, but I know it can't really end because we're still getting new cases. So, downer.
It's going to be, yeah, I think like 2 to 5 years. I don't think anything's going to be remotely normal until we have like a legit vaccine that everybody has access to, which isn't going to happen anytime soon.
Right.
When am I going to get back to the UK? I don't know.
We want you back. You need to come back. We need you.
Trump subverts democracy again. I know I said this last time, but I really mean it this time. I might just go over there. I have dreams of moving to Edinburgh and having a little child that I can name Magnus, wearing a kilt or whatever.
Yeah, if the child is born in Scotland, it does actually come out wearing a kilt.
Yeah.
You give birth to a child wearing a kilt, so that's cool.
That's the dream, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Everything's crazy. How are you? Your hair looks good. It's cool.
Does it? I'm running out of ways to deal with this, and everyone knows I'm not a natural pink, so I'm running out of ways to style it and make it look nice. But I've gone for a sort of half a plait. Look, half of it's not even.
Into it.
You're into it. Okay, your hair looks nice.
I was gonna cut it on air for you. I love you so much. Normally, to my 3 fans who just tuned in, like you guys know I haven't been doing live streams. It's just hard. It's very vulnerable, you know, like not getting to see your faces, you know, just having to assume that some of you are masturbating. I haven't been doing it, you know, but I'll cut my hair on here just to spice things up. I don't know.
Thank you, Jena. That was awesome. I'll just wait for everyone to come back on so we can get our second and third guests on. Beautiful. I'm going to bring the second guest on because I can't wait to talk to her because she did one of the first shows when we started on here. So let's get her on. Athena Kugblenu. I'm going to applaud her on. Connecting. It says I'm connecting.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, what's going on? How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Not too bad. Not too bad at all, considering the world, it's not too bad. One minute my life matters. Next minute, oh shit, I'm a woman. Doesn't matter anymore. Oh no. Oh shit. Give me a break, man. Come on. But otherwise, all good, man. I can't complain.
Yeah.
I can't complain.
I did say to Nish, it feels weird to say to people at the moment. Nish and I were talking about this, to say like, what's happening? How's it going? Considering everything that's happening everywhere.
Okay, so here's my thing on it, yeah? This has always been happening. Nothing that's happening now is new at all. Like, this is just the world turning, So what's happening is like people are, you ever lose your sunglasses and realize they was on your head?
Yeah.
And you're like, that's what it's just like.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's like, it's been there, Or you ever walk around and you realize, oh my God, there's toilet paper stuck to my shoe. That's what it is right now. This isn't like extraordinary. We know men are creeps in comedy, right?
Yes.
To the point now where I was like, today I was thinking to myself, I've never really had an issue with a guy. And then I was like, oh, actually, that guy I have. Yeah. Oh, actually, that guy I have. Oh, yeah, that guy. Because it's so normal. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, you just think, oh, this guy's a creep, whatever. That's just, and you just forget about it because it's just ordinary.
Well, that's exactly it. That's what's so depressing about it, is the ordinary of it. And as I was saying, that we end up internalizing it, or compartmentalizing it, because you can't live. If I acknowledged every single time, you just kind of start to...
You want to enjoy your life, you know what I mean? Like, you want to enjoy the career that you love. You know what I mean? I want to leave my house and do what I do and come back home. And, so you do get a bit blinkered. But with everything that's going on, I sort of think, thanks for coming to the party. The lights are up now. All the booze is gone. The music stopped playing. The DJ's gone home. There's a bit of warm salad left on the side, so you can take whatever scraps you can. But you're late, man. This is all we've been doing this. But it's one thing I have noticed is that with what's happening now, I notice more men speaking, and with people talking about anti-blackness, I notice more non-black people speaking. So that's the thing, isn't it? It doesn't work if we complain about it, because it's like we're not in control. We never have been. But if the people who are in control realise it, that's the heart I take from this. People who are benefiting from it are saying, actually, I don't like the taste of this privilege anymore. It tastes kind of funny. I don't like it. I think it would be nice, like the Matrix. Do you want that life, or do you want to eat your porridge in the spaceship?
Yeah.
People are starting to think that spaceship looks kind of sexy. They're thinking about, spaceships. So, I mean, obviously spaceships aren't like aliens. Obviously, that's like a bad example. And Red Dwarf is like a bad example. They had really bad times in that spaceship. But generally, spaceships are sexy. Star Trek and all that. So think about that, guys. It's not about the steak and the red wine. It's about eating your porridge with sexy people. And people in the Matrix were sexy, man. Lawrence Fishburne in that movie was sexy. He's not sexy anymore, but he had that kind of, if you have daddy issues, he'd be sexy. He had that older kind of, I'll give you the love he didn't give you kind of energy about it. And obviously Keanu, we love Keanu. So if you haven't got daddy issues, Keanu's for you. Anyway, moral of the story, take the pill. Okay, your privilege sucks. Go live in space or wherever they was living. I don't really understand the Matrix, if I'm honest. Yeah. I didn't understand
try and imagine the world outside of, I guess, your own existence and your own, for 5 seconds as well. And
it's nicer. Honestly, when you see everything for what it is nicer. Trust me. It's nicer in this world. It's not so nice when you don't see it, because you look like a dickhead.
Yeah.
Who wants to look like a dickhead? Yeah. We're bored of it now. Just start to be real. Like, racism's real, sexism's real. You can be affected by both sexism and racism. Guess what? On top of that, homophobia is real, ableism is real. It all adds up, and we all contribute to it. So let's just muck in, man. Let's sort this shit out. It's boring now.
Well, and actually, we've got time now. We've got nothing but time.
Right, we've got this. We literally have enough. That's why everyone's buying these books. It's amazing. Like no one had the time before. Everyone's like, I think I will read that book about Reese. Which one? There's fucking thousands of them. Like, can you recommend the book? How long have you got? Oh, actually, we got till next year because we're locked down for next year. So you know.
Beautiful. Thanks for joining us. I'm hoping that Nish is here and ready to go. So I'm going to get him on the show. Oh, I'm pressing the button. There he is, Nish Kumar, dialing in. Yes, hope you enjoyed Athena. She's so funny. It's always great to have her on the show. Nish!
Hello, Tiff. How's it going?
Good. I'm so happy to see your face.
My hair, over the course of doing these shows, it has become increasingly difficult to frame my hair in the Instagram live box. Every time I'm on, the laptop just gets further and further away from my face.
I think it's magnificent.
I mean, it's absolutely massive. It is an absolute state of affairs. How are you, Tiff?
All right. Yeah, I mean, everything considered. I mean, I'm over it now, over the lockdown. Obviously, there's all new stuff to be angry about, you know.
It does feel like everybody hit a wall last week. I mean, I was fine with it, and then I nearly shat myself in a park earlier today because, like, I was sort of sat there, just, you know, I'd slightly mistimed it. I was in the park doing my exercise, and then I was like, oh, I need a shit. And then I sort of forgot you can't, all the
nowhere to go.
Be like, am I about to shit in a bush? And then I was like, I was struggling. I made it home, but I mean, and also like, I'm just like, it's laundry day. So I'm wearing like a Marvel t-shirt and also some like Captain America shorts. So I look like a massive 12-year-old. And just like squatting down on my way home, trying to hold in a shit. And then when I got in, the sort of final insult to injury was like, I've made it. And then you're like, I have to wash my hands because of goddamn COVID. And so then you're like there just washing your hands going like, happy birthday to you. Oh God, happy birthday to you. Just trying to get through my 2 happy birthdays so that I can absolutely defile my toilet. So all things
I peed in the woods.
Did you?
Yeah.
What can you do?
Yeah,
what can you do?
I mean, the pooing thing is, I don't think I would take a shit in the woods. But never say never.
I think a shit is possibly too much, but peeing in, the thing with dudes is that it's more. I was peeing against a wall in Glastonbury one year. There's like bits of the walls, festival walls at Glastonbury that are like, they basically have they've just dug troughs so you can pee in them because people were peeing there anyway, presumably. So they've just sort of, and I was peeing and then it was quite late at night. There wasn't really a lot of people around. And then I sort of felt this presence next to me and there was just a woman squatting and peeing next to me. And I just looked across at her and she was like, what? And I was like, nothing, madam. Fair enough. We're all pissing. We're all human beings.
There's Glastonbury toilets are.
Oh, I read something once. I've never taken LSD, so I can't confirm if this is true. But I remember once reading an interview with Paul McCartney where he said the thing about LSD was that it changed your brain chemistry forever. And that your mind is never actually the same before you took LSD and then after you take it. And I feel the same about looking down in the toilets of a festival. I don't think your mind or your soul is ever the same after you've looked down into it. Once you've seen 3 days of flat, warm beer and burritos have done, that's the only. You never really you leave a part of yourself in those loos.
I mean, you literally leave a part of yourself.
Yeah.
But I always treat that's what I always used to say about the comments section on any article. Like, treat the comment section like you would a Portaloo at Glastonbury.
Yeah,
don't look down because it's just
a great rule.
Turds on top of turds on top of turds.
Look into it, but only if you want to see the depths of human despair.
Well, Jenna was saying she thinks 2 or 3 years before comedy gets back to normal. We were talking about that, and I was like, oh god, oh god.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how it's gonna. I mean, listen, what I would say is, if there's one thing we've learned from Saturday, it's a difficult time to put on a live gig. President Trump has shown us that. It's a difficult. It was nice for me to get a preview of what would happen if I ever booked an arena out for a comedy show. Like, it was really, you know, it was a big. Listen, we've all made mistakes. We've all overestimated our relative. The whole fruit space in 2016, 300 seats available. I sold a cool 25. You know, it's like we've all. It's the closest I've ever felt to President Trump. Was massively overestimating my own selling ability. I mean, to be absolutely fair to him, he was giving the tickets away, and yet still he could not fill that. I mean, it was a pretty extraordinary. It was a pretty extraordinary spectacle. I mean, at this point, the Trump presidency has taken on a kind of surreal art quality. when he spent sort of 9 minutes explaining how he had actually been able to walk down that ramp, and he was perfectly fine. Nothing screams, I am perfectly fine, like giving a 9-minute speech about walking down a ramp. There is very little that can convince you that the person who is giving the speech is in complete possession of all their mental faculties than somebody bragging to you that they can drink water, and that it was that, you know, it was all the invention of the media that they couldn't drink water. It's a very strange thing. It's a very strange. The interesting thing was that the footage of him when he got back to Washington after the speech, where his tie was sort of undone, and he looked like a beaten man. He really did. He did not look good. It's the closest I've come to feeling sorry for him, and I did not in any way feel sorry for him.
Did you say he looked like a beaten man?
He looked like what he is, which is a sort of incarnation of failed American enterprise. He looked like, you know, like it was real Arthur Miller Death of a Salesman shit with him walking off that plane. He just looked, it looked like someone who was like, there was just a brief flash for a moment that you thought, does he actually have some self-awareness here? Because surely he can't think, you know, barely half filling that arena constituted a success. Even he can't. And also, the fact is, they were like, oh, we're going to need a bit of overspill. So they built a second performance.
Yeah.
Never do that. Never do that.
No, wait till the first night sold out before you add the second.
Wait until the first night sold out, then add the second night. See if the arena has a studio room. See if it has a studio room. It's better to fill the studio room, Donald.
Did he tweet again today saying that?
Yeah, he's already started saying that the election is rigged, which is it strongly suggests that he does not anticipate winning it. He's already starting the election's rigged, everyone's against me. You know, it's pretty extraordinary. He's been claiming that the Supreme Court, which is majority Republican, is now against him because they won't let him, like, just randomly start kicking out people he considers to be too brown to be American. And even the Supreme Court, even some of the spicy motherfuckers on the Supreme Court are, you know, and have now just been like, no, we have had enough of this shit. Not Brett Kavanaugh, to be fair. Brett Kavanaugh is, to be fair to Brett Kavanaugh, he's still a cunt. He's not turned those cunt cards in. He's like, I'm a cunt, and it's got me this far. I see no reason to change course. The one thing I would say with America is that their federal system, at least it means, like, you know, certain governors are stepping in and going, no, we're not going to relax social distancing measures. No, we're not going to do this, that, or the other. Here, we're just like, yeah, just the 2-meter rule is the 1-meter rule now. And wearing masks is legally for pussies. So if you see someone in a mask, you can run up to them and flick them in the nuts, and you're entitled to all their lunch money. And you can sort of do whatever you want. You know, because we're bored now. We're bored. Boris is bored.
Thanks for coming on the show, Nish. If you've enjoyed Nish and watching, go stick some money in the bucket at Tiff Stevenson merch so we can pay the comics. Wearing masks has been mandatory since April here. Yes, that's in America, I think. You're the best.
Bye,
Thank
Tiff.
you. See you soon. Bye. 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 Guys, end of the show. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been quite a long show and 2.5 hours nearly. Do you know what? I didn't expect to speak to Jena as long as we were talking for nearly an hour. A lot to get through, but it's been great. If you've enjoyed it, like I say, go rattle the tips jar, stick some money in here. It will be in the stories for a couple of days, and then we take it down, much like a live gig. So make sure, like Pokemon, got to catch them all, or catch them when you can. I don't even remember what the catchphrase was. Thank you, Baldy3 says, was great. We will see you next time. I'll play some play out music, actually. Maybe a bit of Led Zeppelin. Thank you so much. Good night.